Uh, we're gonna be recording this as well. It's good to see everyone. Hi. Got it. We're recording. See some new faces. What's up, everybody? So I'm gonna jump right in. Yeah, how do I make Zoom meetings not suck? We turn our cameras on. We participate. We do this because we think that doing this thing alone sucks, right? In collaboration over competition. And everyone's always invited to these, right? No matter where you come from, what brokerage you're at, and it's good to see everyone. So do this every Tuesday and Thursday. We jump in here, and guys, I'll just say this, man. Whatever we're training on these things, Gab and I, we are like, all we do is coach agents all day long, every day. So we have a finger on the pulse of where the challenges are. That's what we train on. We keep our stuff fresh. We keep it current, right? And then we want to have very, very current talk tracks so you can speak to your clients and the consumers and really, really know what's going on. So we're really, really smart. So remember at Keller Williams, there was like, they did like an open house training like every Thursday. And it was like, I don't need the open house training every Thursday, right? So this is kind of different. We're going to jump into, let me share my screen. We're going to jump into goal setting. And prepared. Cool. Awesome. So has anybody set their goals yet for next year?
Awkward silence.
Yeah, financial.
Who's that, Giselle?
You.
That's because you're getting paid, right?
I hope so. I need to be.
I know. Same. Yeah. So if you figure it out, let me know. So so this is the time of year. I remember I was I don't know, man. When I first got my real estate license, I had a mentor who he was awesome, but we would like go to breakfast in January, like the first or second week of January, and like sit down and set our goals. And that was cool. At least we were setting goals. Most people are not setting goals. And then I realized that we're in real estate, right? We're in sales. Can someone tell me how long the average real estate sale takes to close, like once it goes under contract in New Jersey?
$30 to 45 days.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you. 30 to 45 days, right? So when's the year gonna end? How many more days do we have left in the year, you guys? 30, 45 days, something like that, right? So in most sales businesses that have a sales cycle similar to ours, the year ends at the end of Q3, right? So the end of the third quarter. So for me, my books are closed, right? For my business, like books are closed. What we're going to do this year, we've pretty much done. Does that make sense, right? So really, I would challenge everyone. When I was setting goals for real estate sales, I really I really looked at I looked at it as like a 9-month year, man. Like whatever I put under contract between January 1st and the end of September, right? That was really my year. And then whatever I got in the fourth quarter was like bonus, right? Like we scored like bonus points. And when I changed that mindset, I don't know, I just did better and I got more motivated. I had a better understanding. And then what I realized is the fourth quarter, the secret to this thing is the fourth quarter is really whatever we're doing right now in the fourth quarter is going to be sales in the first quarter of next year. The beautiful thing, I realized, this was like, I don't know, God, I'm getting old. I'm like the boomer realtor, right? But like in 2015 or 16, I had a coach that helped me understand getting your unfair share. And what she told me, when her name was Gayla McGowan, and she talked to me about like how nobody works in the fourth quarter in real estate. Like everyone just like chills. And like most realtors wait till they wait till the spring. They're like, dude, spring market's can't wait for waiting for the spring market. You ever hear people say this shit? Like waiting for the spring market to start. And then I realized like, if I just did the activities that I was supposed to do during the fourth quarter, I realized that January 1st is the spring market. Because people make decisions at the beginning of like December 1st, like what New Year's resolutions, like people are psychologically, we're wired to make decisions on January 1st, right? And people list their houses. I'm going to say to everybody right now, man, the script right now is, what are your real estate plans for 2023? Every single person that you meet, this is just a game of having conversations, guys. Who can have the most conversations, right? I had a coach tell me once, Joe Oz, you know why that you're successful? He took me through this whole thing. He's like, you know why you're so good at blah, blah. And I said, oh, because I do open houses, or because I prospect, because blah, blah, blah. He took me through like 20 wrong answers. And then he said, it's because you have more conversations than everyone else, right? So everyone should just be having more conversations than anyone else. And the conversation right now is, hey, what are your real estate plans for 2023, right? That is probably in the fourth quarter of every single year, every single person I ran it. Because dude, who here has someone that walks up to them on the street or at the gym or at church or at work and they're like, how's the market? Does anybody ever get this one? How's the market? I hate that question, right? I want to be like this guy. I talk about the real estate market 60 hours a week and I yell about it on Zooms. I don't want to talk about it to you. You're my neighbor. Can we just go surfing? Can we just like whatever have us like, can we just like not talk about it? But the secret is they're going to ask you, how's the real estate? That's the craziest thing about real estate, man. Like you don't have to bring it up. People bring it up to you, right? And then you say like, cool, what are your plans for the rest of the year? So first things first, set your goals right now. I'm going to teach you guys, setting goals is kind of easy, but like when you get purposeful about it, you're better at it. And I'm going to take you guys through how I set goals. And what I'm going to teach you guys is you can set goals around anything. We're going to talk about what's a goal. We're going to talk about SMART goals, and we're going to talk about a 1-3-5, how to structure goal setting, right? I apply this shit to everything, dude. Like if I want to, like, my wife was like, she got into gardening. We're like building these garden things. Like we built a 1-3-5 and goal setting around building a garden. Like, dude, what do we want to plant? How many do we want to plant? How many tomatoes do we want? When do we want them to? And we did a 1-3-5 around that, man. So anything that I want to be purposeful with about my life, I do goal setting around it. And here's the secret. The 1-3-5 that I'm going to share with you guys, that's a business plan. Your yearly goal setting is a business plan. It's one page. It's not 50 pages. It's not graphs and charts and all these things. Your business plan is one page and it's called a 1-3-5. I'm going to dive in, right? Let me see. Oh, that's the last. Oh, let's see here. Goal setting workshop. Boom. We're going to go over SMART goals and 1-3-5s, right? Why set a goal, right? Hey, the number one reason to set a goal is that what we measure gets accomplished. That's it. We have to measure it. If we measure it and track it, it'll get accomplished. Any single thing on earth that you want to do, it'll happen. If you want to lose, did anybody ever try to lose weight and you step on the scale every morning or whatever that looks like? It's the same thing, man, right? Like if you want to save for a vacation, like, cool, what are we up to? Do we have enough? I want to save X amount a month. Like, that's it, man. If you measure it, it will get accomplished. If you do not, yeah, that's kind of it. Your goal sheet is your GPS. I got invited to, it's funny, at Keller Williams, we did Mega Camp and we did Family Reunion, right? These were these big conventions we did. And I was invited to a private mastermind. Kristen Cole had a suite or whatever. And she invited a handful of people who were doing expansion to come and mastermind. It was 6:30 a.m. before it started. You had to be there at 6. They had coffee and food. And we got in this thing, we mastermind. And I opened up my folder, right? And I had my 1-3-5 laying on top of I was the nerd, front row seat, opened up my folder. I had my 1-3-5 goal setting form right there. And then I remember, this is someone that I looked up to. This is a mentor of mine. She's like, wow. She's like, Joe, do you have your 1-3-5, right? Was that the first thing you see when you open up your it was I don't know what they're called. I want to say trapper keeper, attache, the leather thing where I kept my yellow tablet. It was right there. And then she had me get up and present on why the 1-3-5, to really important people in real estate. I was super scared. She's like, can you talk about why that's so important? And it's because it's your GPS, man. This is this. If you're following your 1-3-5, if you're following your goal setting, if you're looking at it every single day, it's just your roadmap, right? I'm going from California to New York, man. Am I headed towards Mexico? Am I headed towards tech? Where am I headed? Am I headed to the Northeast? Am I on track to hit my goal? And that's why it's important. Has anybody heard this term before? SMART goals? Yeah. It's nothing new, right? Remember, some people, I feel like people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught, right? So SMART goals, this is important. There's a lot of ahas in here for me. S stands for specific. M is measurable, A is achievable, R is relevant, T is time bound, right? I'll say this, man. People set goals and they're like, I want to lose weight. Is that a goal? No, it's not a goal, right? I want to be wealthy. I want to be financially free. I see that one constantly. I want to be financially free. What the fuck does that mean? Like, what do you want to be, right? Like, what does that mean? Dude, do you want to retire your spouse? Cool. How much does your spouse make? Cool. What are your, like, oh, dude, don't, Giselle's talking about financial, right? Like, cool. Do you know what your monthly bills are, right? How much is it? What are you putting away for your kid to go to college? Things like this, right? Like, these are numbers that you should be looking at. But when someone's like, I want to be financially free, that's like, go get a lottery ticket, man. That's not strategic at all. If you guys can tell, I'm going to get really passionate about goal setting because it's super, super important. And I don't think people aren't really afraid of what they can't do. They're afraid of what they can do. Because unfortunately, human beings are very, very resilient and we can really do whatever we put our minds to. And so it's just going to be difficult, right? Like we're just gonna have to do things differently to get different results, right? So S, specific, right? Can I have someone volunteer to read this slide?
I'll do it. When setting a goal, be specific about what you want to accomplish. Think about this as the mission statement for your goal. This isn't a detailed list of how you're going to meet a goal, but it should include an answer to the popular W questions: who, what, where, when, and why.
Cool. Thanks, Tiffany. What does that mean? We want to be specific, right? So if we say we want to lose weight, we want to lose 10 pounds in 90 days, right? Like that's what it looks like. I have a wedding to go to. I have a high school reunion to go to. I want to drop 10 pounds by this date. That's it. So we just have to be specific, right? Here's a hint, dude. If you're in real estate, it's probably around selling houses, right? And it should be like, by the way, everyone should write this down. If you're selling houses and you have goals, your goal is going to be, I always broke it down by units, volume, and GCI, right? And then I broke it down into like, everyone's on splits, right? Everybody wants a piece of your commission these days, right? It's not a secret, right? So everyone's on splits, right? So I would be setting goals around that net number. So everyone should look at what their monthly bills are, right? And then like, I don't want you guys just paying your bills. I want you guys like saving, investing. I want you going on vacations and things like that. So then find that number, find the number for the savings and the vacations and things like that. And then what happens is I would break down after your split, what that all looks like, what you're actually going to take home. That makes sense, guys? So this takes work, right? And I'm going to freestyle here, right? There was a book that came out during COVID. It was called The Road Less Stupid. It was by Keith Cunningham. Keith Cunningham is the rich dad from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's like the actual rich dad. The whole book is just about thinking, right? He says we don't think enough. Think about it. Like you got kids, work, school, whatever, like actually sitting down and thinking and contemplating. That's what you're going to have to do to set your goals, right? I know I have friends that go to Puerto Rico for 2 days to goal set. They're totally by themselves. They just go and they leave. They lock themselves up. They set goals. They get really, really, really clear on what their goals are, right? It's hard to find thinking time. It's extremely important. I travel a lot. I do that on airplanes. It's like my favorite time not like I love my family and stuff, but like I can like, nothing can get to me. I don't buy Wi-Fi. I like sit there and I think, man, and it's awesome. Like I write and I think and I journal, and we should do more of that stuff, right? So in order to set really, really great goals, you're going to have to go somewhere where no one can find you. Turn your phone off, like think, give yourself 2 hours, man. I don't know. I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's super important to me. If I don't get out of my house, if I don't get wherever, like I have to go somewhere where I'm like isolated and I can sit down and think. And you really got to think through it. It's like I would take like either a day or like an afternoon. And that's like your business planning session, right? Like it's almost like you meeting with your board of directors about what your 2023 is going to look like. And that's what I would suggest doing. So it's measurable. Would someone please volunteer before I call on someone, because I don't want to lose my voice again today like I do every day. Can someone please read the M for me, for us?
Measurable. What metrics are you going to use to determine if you meet this goal? This makes a goal more tangible because it provides a way to measure progress. If it's a project that's going to take a few months to complete, then set some milestones by considering specific tasks to accomplish. Milestones are a series of steps along the way that, when added up, will result in the completion of your main goal.
Yo, thanks, Giselle. I can't tell you how much I appreciate when you guys participate. It really makes me so happy. So if we want to sell 100 houses, right? And it's, I don't know, if we're starting Q3 and we're at 75, are we on track? Yeah, we're on track, right? What should happen is that's why we look at our goals every single day, dude, right? We look at them, see if we're on track. If you're not on track, you got to make some adjustments, right? Simple stuff. You should have a coach, a mentor, whatever that looks like, a friend, someone that you like that will hold you accountable and cares about you. And you need to be like, hey, I'm not on track, dude. Can you help me? Like, what am I not seeing? Right? Like what's happening here that I'm not doing right? Right? Because the reason why we're doing so well in our organization is because we believe that 2 heads are better than 1. And really, if you're here, if you're with us, you got a whole lot of heads. You got more than 2, right? And everyone's willing to like help out the other person, right? So for me, I mean, Gab's been working like really close to me since she got here. She sees me pick up the phone. Lauren sees us too. I ask for help constantly. Lauren, how often do I ask for help? Constantly, right? I'm always like, who can we call? Who's doing this at a high level? Holy shit, this isn't working. What can we do? I need help. Today, I probably asked for help from 5 people, right? And that's why we're doing well, because I recognize when I need help and I raise my hand. I get vulnerable about it, right? And that's a really cool culture to live in. So measure your stuff. Here's a secret. This is like a huge aha for me. Every goal should have a number. That's it. If your goal doesn't have a number, it's not a goal, right? Will someone read the right side of achievable for us, please?
Says this focuses on how important a goal is to you and what you can do to make it attainable, and may require developing new skills and changing attitudes. The goal is meant to inspire motivation, not discouragement. Think about, number 1, how to accomplish the goal. Number 2, if you have the tools and skills needed. And number 3, if not, consider what it would take to attain them.
That's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, guys, just make sure they're achievable. You know, like I'll meet like a new agent. They're like, I'm gonna sell 500 houses this year. I'm like, you are? If you figure it out, tell me how to do it, because it sounds awesome. You know, like I'm like, all right, cool. Make sure it's achievable. I just don't want you to get discouraged, right? Like I've written down some goals. My mentors are like, whoa, really? How the hell are you gonna do that? Like I have a wealth goal. I shared it with my wealth coach yesterday. He's like, you want to be worth what by what date? He's like, well, all right, hold on. We got to go backwards. He laughed at me. He's like, dude, it's not going to happen. Right. Let's work it backwards. What's that really look like? And I'm like, he's like, are you going to see your family? Are you going to like go to the baseball game? Are you going to like, you know, what are you going to do? And he was right, man. So like, I'll give you guys a little tip that's not on here is, excuse me, whatever you think is attainable, add 20%. That's it. So if you think you can sell 20 houses, make it 24, right? Or whatever that looks like, right? So just like add whatever you think you can do, add 20%, right? Because that's attainable, right? Cool. Will someone read the R for relevant? Only if you like working here.
I'll go.
If you hate it here, don't read this for me, please.
Relevance refers focusing on something that makes sense with the broader business goals. For example, if the goal is to launch a new program or service, it should be something that's in alignment with the overall business/department objectives. Your team may be able to launch a new program, but if your division is not prioritizing launching that type of new programs, then the goal wouldn't be relevant.
Anthony, thank you, man. Yeah, is it relevant, dude? Like, are people like in real estate? I'll relate it to real estate. Like, I don't know, man. Like, so like, is it something other people are doing to sell houses, right? If you're like, dude, if you're like not selling any house, like, you're like, dude, we gotta do a podcast. It's like, dude, you do not need to do a podcast, man. You need to make your follow-ups. You need to make your calls. Like, dude, we need to, bro, should we like sponsor the Blue Claws Stadium and like invite our clients to like have beers there and eat hot dogs and be like, I'm gonna kill you. No, make sure it's relevant, make sure it makes sense, right? That's kind of simple stuff, right? And then would someone please read Time Bound?
I would love to because I love working here, so I'm going to hop right in. Okay, time bound. Anyone can set goals, but if it lacks realistic timing, chances are you're not going to succeed. Providing a target date for deliverables is imperative. Ask specific questions about the goal deadline and what can be accomplished within that time period. If the goal will take 3 months to complete, it's useful to define what should be achieved halfway through the process. Providing time constraints also creates a sense of urgency.
Thanks, Lauren. Lauren and I have things called big rocks. They're goal setting for us, and they're every quarter we have a big rock. There's one big rock that we have to like accomplish every quarter. Lauren's got one, I've got one, and then it's time sensitive, right? And then when her and I meet, Lauren says, hey, how are you on your big rock? If I'm on track to hit goal for my big rock by the end of the time allotted, I just tell her like I'm on track. If I'm not on track, can anyone guess what I do?
You ask for help to get you on track.
Correct. Or sometimes I don't ask for help. Lauren's like, you're not going to have that ready, are you? What do you want me to do? How are we going to fix this? Right. So yeah, 100%. Right. Thanks, Gab. So yeah, if you're not on track, that means you need help, and you got to like, because guess what? At Oz Group, do we hit goal? Yes, Joe. That was Joe's ventriloquist. Cool. So how do we put it all together in a 1-3-5? So this is 1-3-5. One goal. This is like my favorite thing in the entire world, you guys. I love it. You can put a 1-3-5 on my tombstone. Be like, Joe loved 1-3-5s. One goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies. If you do this, you will hit goal. You will hit your goal. If you do thinking, I sound like I went to the public schools here, Frick Township Public Schools. If you do thinking good, right? If you go and spend some thinking time and you think on these things and you truly do this, you will hit goal. I only know that because someone told me to do it and it worked. I'm like, holy shit. When I thought of my goals and I got really strategic about it and I wrote them all down, I kind of did it. And guess what? When you're tracking it and it's the end of the first quarter and you're not on track, you should have conversations with people to help you get back on track. This is how it works. This is what a 1-3-5 looks like. I'm sure by the end of this call, Lauren's going to tell you guys where you can get this thing, right? I believe it's in our university too in Kajabi, right? Whatever's, yes. If it's not, will you like replace it with this one? Because it has our logo on it.
I'm already on it.
I'm sure it'll wind up in Slack somewhere or whatever. It'll be access. So this is it, guys. It's not sexy. It's not fancy. It's not like whatever. It's not a Google sheet. It's not like anything like that. It's one main objective, right? That's your goal. It's 3 priorities. Whoa. And then it's 5 strategies. So each of these boxes, you would put your priority, right? Really simple, right? My goal is I want to sell. I'm going to take you guys through this. You ready? Yes, Joe. Okay, cool. I want to sell. This is how I would do this. Okay. If I want to sell 50 houses, right? Someone tell me your average price point.
$420.
420. Whoa, dude. Relax, Dr. Dre. So if I want to sell 50 houses at average price point of 420,000. That volume is going to be 21 million, right? And then at 21 million, what's a commission? What's the average commission where you guys are? What are we getting paid when we sell a house? Company
2.1 at this point.
2.1 times 2.1. That is 441,000, right? So if I want to sell, so 50 units at an average price point of 420 is that volume is 21 million, right? And then if I multiply that by 2.1 commission, that comes out to a GCI, a gross commission income of $441,000, right? If I was on a 50-50 split with my team, right? Or I don't know, let's just say I'm on a 70-30. These are all like sphere deals, right? So like I'm on a 70-30, right? So that means now I'm going to get 308,700, right? That's 70%. Does everybody understand how I did that, right? So my objective would be really the number is what we really care about is how much money we make. Really, that's really what it looks like. We should be looking at that number, and then there we should pull our units, our volume, GCI, and then down to our net number. Is everyone following? That's what I would be doing. Now 135s, you can do a 135 for anything. You do it for losing weight, you can do it for buying 3 investment properties, you can do it for flipping 1 house, right? You can do a 135 around anything. And now 3 priorities to achieve, right? What are some priorities that you would pick in order to sell some houses?
Talk to as many people as I can.
Cool. Is that specific?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Good job. That's where we're going, right? So
maybe hit some FSBOs and expires.
100%. Can you put a number to it?
Sure, you could hit, say I'm going to call 25 FSBOs a day.
There we go. See where we're going, guys? See how it just got, did anybody see how it got uncomfortable for a second? Did anyone else feel that? Say yes. If someone do something, if you felt that. If it just
Yes,
me.
Joe.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
we can call some FSBOs, right? Okay. All right, dude. You want to be a player? How many are you gonna call? Got weird, right? Oh shit. That's accountability, you guys. That's what you have to do to succeed. This is the way my coaches talk to me, by the way. When it gets uncomfortable, they're like, "Are you comfortable, Joe?" I'm like, "Yeah, I hate this. I want to cry." They're like, "Okay, cool. Let's keep going." Right? So for me, I'll share what I did, right? So like what I would do is I'd pick a goal, and then I was a listing guy. I called and got listings. Like I just hit the phones like crazy. I was a big outbound calling person, and I knew, so if I wanted to take 50 listings, I'm going to work backwards on this one with you guys, right? So what I always did was I knew if I went on 4 listing, this is insane. If I knew if I went on 4 listing appointments, I would sign 1. I was super, super conservative with this number, but I just knew. Usually I'd get more, but if I knew if I went on 4 appointments, I would take a listing, right? So that meant like what I wanted to do is I wanted to take 2 listings a week. So how many appointments did I have to go on every single week? 8, correct, right? So I knew if I went on 4, and by the way, for me, when I'm calling, if you like kind of think you sort of want to sell your house in the next 12 months, I'm going to meet you. I would just I don't know how I did it. I would just wind up on your front porch. I would set an appointment. I'd be like, "Hey, can I see the house?" And I would just go through and I'd get in a relationship with these people, right? And then to scale, the conversion started to go up, right? But I knew that if I went on 8 appointments a week, I would take 2 listings, right? That week, right? And so my goal was to go on 8 appointments a week. So one of my priorities would be 8 appointments a week, right? And then I knew that in order for me to go on 8 appointments, shit, man, I knew I needed to make 200 dials to set an appointment, right? So 200 dials times 8 appointments means I had to make this many phone calls a week. So then that became not a priority, but that became a strategy underneath my priority. Is this hitting? Am I following? So there's a goal, then there becomes a priority, then there becomes strategies, right? Another strategy would
Wait,
be
Joe, can I pause you for a second? So under the priority would be 8 appointments a week, correct?
correct.
Okay, so then directly under that 5 strategies, the first strategy would be 1,600 calls a week. Okay, I just want to make sure everyone is also following and visualizing it.
Yeah. So you all like, how do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time, right? Like we eat an elephant at a bite at a time. All we're doing, all goal setting is chunking it down to the lead. It's really just the leading indicator, right? So for me, it was always appointments. Like I know I just needed appointments, right? And so if we're on OpCity, if we're on realtor.com and we're on Flex, it's connections, right? And guess what, man? This shit could not be easy. Cannot be easier. 2 to 3 connections a week equals 2 to 4 transactions a month. That's proven. Like that's the number, right? So if I say, hey, I'm going to take 12 connections a month. These are like real numbers, by the way. Like if you take 12 connections a month, you will close 2 to 4 transactions a month on our lead generation system that delivers phone calls to your phone, right? We can make 100 grand with this thing right here. This is all you have to invest in is an iPhone. Most people have it, right? So I'm going to move on to the next slide, but basically you pick a priority and then you go from there, right? So yeah, one of them for me was always it was always hours prospecting, right? So if I had to make 1,600 calls, I knew that I can make 200 calls in like an hour to 2 hours. So if I divide that by 2, that means I need 8 hours of prospecting time that week. And I would just build that into my calendar. I had 0 kids and I was an insane person. And I had a phone bolted to my face. I was constantly on the phone. So our goal, right? Our goal should be time specific, measurable, right? Not so big that it requires more than 4 priorities and not so small that it requires 1 to 2 priorities. The GPS we call it a GPS, the 135 or GPS, like the roadmap. It's typically used for a 1-year goal. However, the tool can be used for any goal that has a specific time constraint. Like I kind of said that, right? So we set a goal for the garden. We did a 135 for the garden. Like that's what we did, right? Can be used kind of anywhere. If I get overwhelmed with something in my life, I'm like, I gotta do a 135 around this thing. And really, it just makes you sit down and think it through. The priorities, right? Priorities should be time specific, measurable, big enough to require 3 to 6 priorities or strategies to accomplish. Identifying 3 to 4 areas of priority forces you to select the most important things you accomplish to accomplish your goal, the 20%. The priorities are like the 20%, the things that we have to do to accomplish the goal. If you need more than 4 priorities, your goal may be too broad. If you struggle finding more than 2, your goal may actually be a priority for a larger goal. And then 5 strategies, right? Again, time specific, measurable. It can be broken into weekly, monthly activities, right? It says right here, 48 units, 4 per month, 1 per week. Yeah, if your goal is 100, whatever, take 20 listings, right? You divide that by 4, and then every quarter you break it down. Break everything down to like the week is what I would do, right? Like break everything single down. So if you need 50 listings, that means you need to take 1 listing that week, right? Every single week. If you don't take any, that means you got to take 2 the next week, right? Cool. I was gonna see if I can pull up an old one. Give me 1 second. Does anybody have any questions? Was that helpful?
Absolutely.
And really, I just want to get you guys thinking, right? Like this time of year, everyone should just be taking a day or half a day, or get together with 2 or 3 of your friends and go to go somewhere where you can I used to go places where the brick wall in Asbury Park used to have these long benches in the back, right? Where in the afternoon you just go there, there's nobody there, and we'd have these huge tables we'd sit at. We just sit there and just hang out for hours and just goal set. It was really It was awesome, man. So like I would get some people together and goal set and talk through things. It's also like a way to be accountable. Let me see if I can pull up a 135 that I have. Trying to find like an old one. Oh, this is funny. You guys want to see something funny? So, is there any Keller Williams people here? So, like Keller Williams, we did something called Bold, right? Where we would like people came in and we like chart like this was like me doing a 135 around Bold for 2018, right? This was like me holding Bold in Maryland, right? Primary objective: sell out a market center Bold with 125 participants. Action steps: Bold Blitz, enroll 75 brokers, assistants, and staff, right? So this is one goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies. So my first priority was a Bold Blitz. I'm going to enroll 75 brokers, assistants, and staff, right? So the idea is there, if I can get the brokers to enroll, right, like everyone else will join, right? Offer prizes to paid registrants, drawing at predetermined levels of enrollments, Bold Buddies, enroll 25 recruits. So people that I was recruiting, I was trying to get them in. Bold Affiliates, get affiliate partners, right? So that was like a 135. I'm gonna see if I can find one around like weird revisiting this stuff. See what this one says. Oh, this one looks good. Hold on. You guys want to see another one? This is a sample one that I did with an agent. This is like an old one, right? So this says sample 135. Goal: close 87 transactions and 15 million in volume, totaling 450K in GCI for 2015. Priority number 1. I really like this priority. It says put 13.6 deals under contract per month, right? So now you're tracking. So what you're doing is you're taking this number and you're breaking it down per month. I really like that one, right? So if you want to sell 12 houses a year, like you just got to do 1 a month, right? Here are the strategies, right? Go on 3 listing appointments per week and secure 2 listings per week. By the way, I guess this was updated in July. Look at these notes. 17 remaining workable weeks to ensure 34 listings close in 2015. Yo, that's sick. So like, I told you I've been doing this shit for a while, right? So like, that's someone who's like tracking the numbers and understanding where the finish line is. And for me, I want to cross the finish line, right? Like that's who I am, right? Strategy number 2, put 1.5 buyers under contract per week. 3, add 1 new marketing initiative or key referral relationship by August 30th. Builder? ? Incorporate new farm and send monthly mailers by August 15th. This is not a good goal. This is not a smart goal. Weekly team meeting with accountability on efforts. By the way, if you don't have 5 strategies, you can leave one out. Like you can just not have a 5th one. Does that make sense? Like you don't have to fill it out. Priority number 2. Is this a smart goal, you guys? Daily lead generation with focus and in scheduled initiatives. No, that sucks. It's not a good goal, right? Yeah, these goals are not good. Thursday circle prospect for Lance and Fizbo calls for Jess, right? I like this one. Priority number 3, grow database to 800 contacts and categorize Mets and unmets. Should we try to find another one? Old ass 135. Cool. This is going to be a walk down memory lane. So this is my 135 for, this is when I moved, this is like when I moved to California. I was like, oh, okay. All right, here we go. 2019, let's do this. Goal: close 36 transactions, 21 million, 600 million in volume, 540 GCI. Price point: put 3 deals under contract per, priority number 1, put 3 deals under contract per month. Strategy number 1, 3 hours prospecting a day, 15 hours a week, 200 dials a day, and 2 nurtures a day per agent, right? 1,000 calls per week, 10 nurtures a week. 1 open house per week, right? Door knock 50 homes per week. Door knocking is like massive where we are, right? Door knock 50 homes per week. Build conversion database, 1, 3, 5-star clients, pond called monthly, blah, 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 blah. 4 client events in 2019, Easter, happy hour, Santa. Tony had a financing event, I guess. Priority number 2, take 4 listings a month, 48 for the year. Work, farm, and follow 135. That's not a SMART goal. I would take that out. 16 listing appointments a month for a week. Circle prospect 200 dials a day in Laguna Niguel and Dana Point. Door knock 10 expired homes a week. So I was like, hey, I saw your house came off the market. I was just seeing if you still wanted to sell your house, like in the face, right? Call Sphere once a quarter around one of the events. This is a good 135, dude, not for nothing. Grow team and purposefully hold agents accountable and track numbers, blah, blah, blah. Hire 1 new agent a month, 12 per year, blah, blah, blah. I think you guys get the idea, right? Cool. Any questions? I hope that was helpful. Cool. Well, if there's no questions, you guys, I'm gonna go do something else.
Just real quick, this is available, the updated template is in the university, and I'm going to drop it in the training channel as soon as this is done. If you are not on this team and you would like a copy, I'm going to put my email address in here right now so you can ask for a copy.
Yeah, so if yeah, guys, if anything right now, it's November 3rd. We're doing sweet, man. Like you should not let, like you should be doing your goals ASAP. You should go, like if you take anything away from this, it's the 135. It's super easy. What's the goal? What's 3 things I have to concentrate in order to get that goal done, right? And then what's 5 priorities? Everything should have a number attached to it. You should track it every single day, right? The minimum, it's just like a habit, man. It's like anything else. It's like getting up early or reading a book for 15 minutes a day or whatever, like exercising, whatever that looks like, it's the same thing. And I cannot stress this enough. Our lives get so busy, dude. The phone wants to steal your thoughts, your brain. It wants to steal your time. And just get away from it all, man, and just go get in your head and think about what's really, really important to you, because we don't do it enough, man. We just don't do it. Like we don't give that time to ourselves. And you have to really sit down and think about what's important to you and what you really want in your life and what you want for your loved ones. And the really frightening thing is if you do that and then you put it on paper and track it, you can accomplish it, but you're gonna have to like stop and pivot when stuff's like not going your way, and you have to like do things differently. And you're going to have to find someone to help hold you accountable. And what's really cool is in this organization, there's a lot of people. I think accountability is the highest form of love in this organization. You can find that here. So it's good to see everyone. Glad you guys all came. If you have any questions, you can always get us offline. Lauren, do you have anything to add?
You guys are all wonderful. Email me if you need a copy, and thank you for your time and leaving your cameras on.
Yeah, true. Later.
Bye, everybody.